Up next on Inside the SCCA, the final day of Solo Nationals. We wrap it up from Lincoln.
All right, it's Rob Krider with Inside the SCCA podcast, and I have a guest right now, Brian Bielanski, who ran XB today. How did your weekend go? We were racing Thursday, Friday, East and West courses, 2 courses of the 2025 Tire Rack SCCA Solo Nationals.
So it's funny, we've got the solo historian, Rocky Entrick, in here.
Yes, we do.
I probably should ask him this question before we start this interview. I don't know if anybody's ever finished last 3 years in a row at Solo Nationals.
Now, he has a book that keeps all that data. Now, you're in that book. So if it is a record, you will hold that record in print for perpetuity.
Yes. So here's a question I have for you, though. You've been here a long time.
Yeah.
If the guy who finished behind me didn't run the second day, am I still last?
No. You got to run. So you are not last.
Okay, so I did not finish last 2 years in a row.
All right. You never want to be DFL, and you didn't do it this year. Good job, Brian.
So I had a great time. Let's start with that.
Well, of course, you drove an MR2.
An engine-swapped MR2.
Yes.
I went from last year I was driving a car with 128 horsepower. This year I drove a car with 305 horsepower.
It's a pretty big delta. When you say 128 horsepower on the car last year, that's downhill with the wind behind you.
Exactly.
That car was down on HP for sure.
With me doing my best Fred Flintstone
exactly. And fold the mirrors in, You know what I mean? Then you maybe got 120 horsepower out of that Honda Fit. I saw that car last year.
It was brutal.
So this year you had a big change, and I saw it when you got the ride. I thought, oh, Brian, you're going to have a great time in that car.
Had an absolute blast. It is not a car that you should try to come to Solo Nationals with and drive for the first time without having any time in any car like it. In any recent memory. So it was an absolute handful. My second run on the test and tune, I spun it.
Good.
My first run on my first day of competition, I spun it.
Well, that's how you find the limit.
I did.
You found it and you went right past it.
I found it.
And then you said, I should probably come back just a little bit.
I did dial it back just a tiny bit.
Wee bit.
Just a tiny
exactly.
bit. The car's owner, Kevin Coyne, great guy. Had a blast.
Thank you, Kevin, for giving you a ride.
Absolutely. And no matter how much of his mentoring he gave me, it was not enough. The guy who was right in front of me was in an older MR2, and we had a blast.
Nice.
He said he gave away 3 seconds on the last run. That makes me feel really horrible because I only lost to him by a tenth and a half. But I don't know if it's worse to lose by 3 seconds or lose by a tenth and a half.
Yeah, either way, it's an L.
We all have our stories that we want to tell ourselves.
Exactly, yeah. And the SCCA Solo Nationals, everyone's got a story. Stories usually sound like excuses, but hey, it's still a story regardless.
That's right. It's too much fun. But had a great time. And learned a ton about getting into a car you've never been in before.
Yes.
And that's an experience that I will probably not, I won't say I'll never do it again. I'm going to try to rectify that next year. I've also learned there are people out here who are doing this 5 times, 10 times a year.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been doing 5, 10 times a year for years. And I need to be realistic in my expectations.
And it's tough. Nationals, the courses are big, they're fast. You get 3 laps, and then you're on to a new track. So to learn a car here, it's a big lift. So props to you, man. At least you brought it home.
I have a blast every year. I will be back next year. I think I've made a decision, though, is where my home's going to be in this sport.
Oh, really?
Kart mod.
Oh, kart mod. All right.
There's another pointy end delta I'm going after.
I love it. I love the fact that you're willing to drive anything. That's a cool thing. Brian will drive anything. You'll let him.
I had thought about kart mod before I totaled the Fit, or the Fit was totaled.
Right.
But now that I have a pickup truck, that certainly can't be autocrossed. But the pickup truck doesn't have a big towing capacity. So I have to have something small enough that I can either put in the back or tow a tiny trailer.
Right.
And kart mod kind of fits that bill.
It does. It's all about those logistics, right? You got to get to the event and haul your stuff around. So yeah, maybe that's your next adventure.
And I love tinkering, and I'm told that's kind of a tinkerer's class.
Oh yeah, if you ever walk by any kart guy in the paddock, they're always spraying something and wiping something and converting something. I've never there's about a tenth of the parts on a go-kart versus a whole car, but they're working on those tenth of parts all the time, while everyone else has got a fully complicated car. We don't even touch it all week.
It's all good. It's all good. So, but once again, a great time. The people are awesome. The event is fantastic.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I come here for some of the best Afghan food you'll ever have out of a food truck.
Absolutely.
I'm just always like, this lady crushes it with the food truck. And it's a great time. Just a great time.
That's what this place is all about, having a great time, going fast, and you did that this week.
We did do that this week.
Right on. Congratulations, Brian. Hope to see you back next year.
We're here at Solo Nationals. It seems like our annual talk with Tomo.
Yeah.
Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. I'm really good. It's the
Are you
final
done?
day. I'm done. Yeah, final day here. I just won my 7th not championship. I was in XA,
Okay.
which becomes a championship class next year.
Oh.
So I got my win. It's my 7th win.
Yes.
But I'm still going to get me one of those jackets that says National Winner.
National
Apparently,
Winner?
I learned I can buy one, I
Oh,
think.
really?
So I'm going to have one of those.
Oh, very cool.
It's cool.
Very cool.
So I was driving a Lotus Evora.
Yes.
And Chris Mayfield built the car. It's been in development for about 3 years, on maybe 4 years actually, on the chassis side. Did a bunch of
Nice.
the aero work on it and the suspension and everything that you should do before you add power. And over the last 6 weeks, he's been doing his own completely custom homemade turbo swap on the car, taking the supercharger off from the factory, putting the aftermarket turbo in. It came here and it was like flawless,
Right.
way faster than we were optimistic, but it was way faster than we thought it would be. And interesting story, I set a bunch of goals like way back when I was getting started with motorsports,
Yep.
and I was aiming low because I didn't know what I would get to do. So
Sure.
I did my goals weren't go to the Le Mans and
Right.
and I've gotten to do some of the stuff that I could never even think of. But one of the goals that I set was to win overall packs, top
Yes.
index at Nationals.
Yes.
And you only get one chance a year to do that.
Yes.
And you have to have packs on your side to do that and all
Yes.
that. And I think I'm in the position to do that this year. So I get
Nice.
to actually maybe, it's not done yet, but
Okay.
maybe cross off one of my actual motorsports goals that's been unchecked for
Right.
17 years or something, which is pretty cool.
So for those who might be finding us and don't know much about autocross,
Yeah.
PAX.
PAX.
What is PAX?
I don't know what PAX stands for, but
either.
I know what it is. It's a system that's been developed over the last 30 to 40 years that takes the the historical data from how fast each class is, because
Right.
the classes don't change that much, and it factors out the performance of each car in the class and
Right.
theoretically compares the driver to driver. So if you're driving a Civic versus a insane wings, formula car,
Right.
it factors out the theoretical performance based on historical data by modifying it by, you multiply your time by 0.874 or
Right.
whatever the factor is.
Right.
It's kind of bench racing. It's all made up.
Right.
It's mathematics and whatever. But
It's more
if
like
you win it, you theoretically drove the best of everybody here.
I tell people
Roughly.
it's how you do bracket racing. If
Kinda.
you're familiar with drag racing,
Yep.
It's how I was able to beat a Corvette one year at the drag strip driving a 4-cylinder Chevy. What was it? Some slow Chevy 4-cylinder boxcar.
Sonic something.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes, it was crazy. But I beat a Corvette because I had the right breakout time and I was in 1/100th or whatever, and I won.
I'm going to steal that comparison because that's way easier than what I said.
It really is. I mean, that's kind of the best way to
Yeah.
for those who might be familiar with the drag racing world.
Right.
It works out pretty cool, and I believe they change the numbers every year, or maybe even more frequently than that.
Yeah, new factors every year, and so instead of a dial-in that you've done the course
Right.
already and you get a dial-in, the dial-in is the last 30 years of history,
Correct.
kind of knowing where the class pace
Right.
actually is relative to all the other ones.
Right, and you don't have to
pretty
worry
cool.
about breakout. That's the other thing is there's no breakout.
Well,
time.
the breakout is when they put out the new factor next
Sure,
year.
exactly.
Which some people are
Exactly.
kind of mad at me about, I think.
You've been coming
Sorry.
here a lot.
Yeah.
We've been talking the last couple of years. It's my 3rd year. You do something that I did for the first time this year is you kind of get into a different car almost every year. That's hard. I just learned that's really hard.
It is. I do that now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in a really cool position where I know a lot of people who have a lot of cool cars, and people are willing to let me drive. I try to be a nice co-driver, and I try to be easy to work with, whatever.
Right.
But for a long time, I was in the same CRXs and Miatas for a bit, and then I was in the same Porsche 914-6. I've done
Right.
nationals in that car 4 times. But here and there, now especially, I've been switching. I did an NSX, I did a Camaro, now a Lotus. I get to do that. Which is really lucky,
Yeah.
because if it was for me to have my own car, I would not be here.
Right.
Or it would be really slow.
Right. But it takes a special skill set to get into a car you might have never driven before this week.
Oh, sure. Well, I
And
think
go fast.
autocross is so abstract in general.
Right.
And this is my 17th or 18th season autocrossing, but it's not like driving on a road course where you get reference points and you get to do 20 laps in your session and you get to like build on that. It's more cerebral in learning how to read what the course allows you to do and make the pace that way. And I think because I came from autocross, I learned to be adaptable with both the way the course works, but also with the cars, because I've always been a co-driver kind of guy.
Right.
I only owned my own car for like 8 months maybe, and I was like, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I'm not bad. I'm very bad at this. So yeah, I think the way I approach it is more like I'm driving the physics model of real life than the car itself.
Sure.
And then I have to, play with that a little bit. It's where does the weight actually need to be? Is it a mid-engine car? Is it going to pivot more? Is it a front-engine car? I'm going to get torque steer.
Right.
Whatever it may be. I have come to appreciate my autocross background massively because of the way that has made my brain work. And yeah, I'm grateful for that.
I also tell people that when you talk about sim to real life racing and autocross, they're kind of the same. They train different things,
Yes.
but the things that they train are things that if you don't do either one, you might not think about. And one of the things I'm learning with the sim is listening to the tires.
Yeah.
Before I ever did a sim and I was on the racetrack, I never listened to the tires. I just waited till the car did what it did.
Yeah.
And now I know when I go back to doing road racing, I'll hear the tire before it breaks away because I'll actually be listening for it now, which I would have never listened to.
Sure. Actually, that may be the perfect combo, sim racing and autocross, because autocross, you're driving the dynamic of the car so much more than on a road course. You've got all these fast transitions and almost never just going straight. And in sim racing, you'd never get to feel the car, but
Exactly.
it's all visual. So if you were to plug those two together, the actual meta move is autocrossing on a simulator.
I want to find someone who's actually got a good program for that.
I know of two.
Really?
You can autocross on a game called Live for Speed.
Okay.
It's like 20-some years old now, but it's got incredible physics models, and it's got a wide-open parking lot that you can place cones in, and when you hit them, it adds 2 seconds to your
Nice.
time. I actually used to grind out slaloms on that game back way back, just learning what was actually fastest. And then Assetto Corsa actually has a really good selection of mods that someone from SCCA, a national champion, Mike Furchak, built and added. Unfortunately, those cones are either invisible or solid.
Okay.
So you either come to a stop like a cinder block, or you just drive through them. But, yeah, if you're a gamer, look into those. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. We're going to see you at the runoffs again.
Absolutely.
Have you thought about next year yet? Because I know you kind of took a step back this year. What have you thought about next year?
Oh, with driving? I don't know yet.
Okay.
I haven't thought about it too much. I've been really enjoying this pursuit of time style events.
Yeah.
So maybe some time attack, time trials, autocross. I spent a lot of time doing endurance racing over the previous 2 seasons. And that started to get tough with managing so many different things going on and different teams having cars ready and all this. And it was like, maybe don't plan for that this year. If I get a chance to do it, I will. I'm actually doing 2 endurance races coming up, one with Lucky Dog from a team that the Lizard Brains podcast found, and they wanted to have us come out.
Nice.
So DJ and I are going to drive with the Hooked on Driving guys in their Spec 3 at a Lucky Dog race. And then we're doing a all-queer team at a Champ Car race.
Very nice.
Sponsored by Out Motorsports.
Nice.
And we've got 5 drivers. I'm one of them, and then a whole bunch of team and crew and everything coming, and it's going to be a really fun thing. So
yes,
I'll get to do a little of the endurance stuff.
Cool.
But we'll see what next year holds. I'm not sure.
And you're a Racing Pride ambassador.
I am, yes.
Yes.
Racing Pride and Out Motorsports,
We're talking with Racing Pride to do a little stuff on our podcast and that kind of thing, which is really cool.
Amazing.
So I think that's fantastic. Have you ever done a one lap?
The One Lap of America? Yeah, I won it 3 times.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize that because this that's on my bucket list, and I'm looking for ringers. So.
Oh, okay.
So
I've done it 4 times.
Okay.
I skipped this year on purpose, but I won the first 3 that I tried, and I finished 3rd in the 4th.
Cool.
2 with my friend Steve Loudon in a Corvette ZR1.
Yeah.
And then 2 with my friend Salil, who runs a 911 GT3.
Okay.
BDK.
So when I tell people I don't do a lot of research for these interviews, it's because I want that reaction, and I've proven it that I probably should have known that you'd won 31 laps beforehand. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a super fun event. And then I'm also intrigued actually by SCCA Targa.
The Targa,
yeah. I've heard really good things about that. It's compared to one lap, but it's not really the same. Because,
no, it's a weekend.
It's a week. One lap, it makes you work.
Yeah.
Like you have to be up late. You travel super long distances. Targa is more like composed in the day, and it's a 3-day thing, and you still get to go to dinner and
It's like the gateway drug to the one lap.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good way to say it.
I think I've heard a lot of people who enjoyed it. So
the Solo National Tour to the Solo Nationals, if you
exactly,
will. Maybe.
Exactly. He's Tom O'Gorman here at Solo Nationals, our second or third year talking. And
he's Brian Bielanski.
I am.
Inside the SCCA podcast.
I am.
Gotcha.
We're here at Solo Nationals. All right, it is time to wrap up another Solo Nationals, and for the third year in a row, we're wrapping it up with this guy, Rob Krider. Started with me 3 years ago. He was my paddock partner, my grid partner.
Yep.
In H Street, and then ended up next to each other last year on H Street again.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And I'm sadly not in H Street this year, as we've already discussed on this inauspicious show that we're doing. But we talked at the end of both events the last 2 years, and now we're back here again. Let's start with your event. How was it for you?
Well, first I want to say I miss you in 8th Street, because when you paddock next to me each year, I came in 4th place to pick up a trophy. You left me, all of my own devices, 13th place. So, I blame you.
It was all me the last 2 years, I'm sure.
I needed your, just help there. You were giving me driving tips. You were checking my air pressure. I needed you, Brian, and you left me, and I just fell through the standings. I blame you.
If we established nothing 10 minutes ago in this show, if I gave you anything, it was to lighten the atmosphere,
yes.
to have a little more fun and frivolity, maybe cut the nerves a little bit.
There
was not a bit of technical knowledge I was able to instill on you. There wasn't a bit of driving knowledge I was able to instill on you. So if it was just me lightening the load for you,
that's what I needed. That's what I needed. Well, I'll tell you, I had a great week because one, me and Van Townsend, also in 8th Street, we won a cornhole game. So that was all of our luck. We used all of our luck in that cornhole game.
That was your problem.
So we won that. Then we moved on to Pinewood Derby. We finished horribly in Pinewood Derby. I had high expectations for Pinewood Derby. My son was a district champion, the Boy Scouts of America. So he's like, Dad, go in that Pinewood Derby. I don't know if you saw those trophies. They were like 7 foot tall.
They were bigger
I wanted
than
that trophy
Solo
so
Nationals
badly.
trophies.
I was like, I'm taking the Pinewood trophy. That didn't happen. So, okay, now let's get back to 8th Street. I drove my buddy Sam Glendo's Honda Civic Sport, and a car I finished 4th in 2 years ago. Back in it this year. Carbotech, Ioport, Smart Strings. Everybody helped us out. We got here, and the car ran great, and we drove great, and we don't know what happened.
Everybody else got greater.
I guess everyone just got a lot better than us, because I went faster my third runs. I was like, should we change the car? No, car's great.
Yeah.
And why are you in 13th place? I don't know. I think it's Brian's fault for leaving.
Of course.
This morning, though, in grid, every single light on the dashboard came on, and it started making some weird noises. So we're like, what are we going to do? I'm like, we're going to drive this thing till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
What we're going to do. So we just went for it today, and the car's still running now. I don't know what's coming up with that. We'll figure that out later. So maybe we're down on some HPs. But ultimately, I love the courses this year. Both course designs were great. The event was fun, the atmosphere. I come here for that party once a year in Nebraska where you see people from all over the country, you race against the best, and when that happens, you're not always going to get a trophy, and that's certainly my case this year. But I had a blast. It was one of my funnest years, if that's a word, funnest. And so I'll be back again. I love it here.
Yeah. The courses were interesting. They weren't hard to remember, but there were technical parts that would sneak up on you if you weren't thinking about them.
Yeah, East Course had some 2 big gotchas. And if you didn't have somebody telling you, like, hey, heads up, you're going to be backside of this cone or really, really late turn in, you were going to find yourself just facing a wall of orange and finding yourself all kinds of grief. And as you slow down and miss that wall, you just see the time dropping. So, that's one of those things that happens. I think West Coast a little more forward. And, third gear courses, though, for the Honda Civics, or in my case, sometimes 5th gear, if you miss it, which doesn't help you. But I cleaned that up in the third run. So, yeah, that's the whole WISA shift with the slush box. So, yeah.
That happens. You've had a good year. I've seen you all over the world on Facebook.
I know. I've had a good life. Yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about it.
So I'm racing for 7 different series championships this year. So, whoops, we'll start that again.
No, that's fine.
So I'm racing for 7 different championships this year and a bunch of cars. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm running the California State Championship in a Porsche Cayman. That's going well. I'm leading that. I think I've actually clinched that already, even though we have one more race of the year. I'm also racing with the Porsche Club of America. So I'm racing for their top index driver with the Sequoia region. They have clinched that as well, and also a class called Option 05. Then moving on, I'm getting dirty this year.
Yes.
I bought a Miata for Rally Cross, so I'm leading Rally Cross. They call that next ALF in the Fresno SCCA region, so I'm leading that right now, halfway through the season. Also leading the prepared rear class. Also, I race in a series called California Rally Series. They race all over the state of California, leading that as well. So all these series, I'm leading everything right now. I didn't count this one as my 8th championship because I knew this one was hard. I wasn't that arrogant, so I was like, hey, let's go for 7. So Mrs. Krider is supporting this, which is the most important thing. She's like, okay, you can go play with your cars. She's like, don't break the bank, and you bought enough tires. So whatever I got on the Porsche has got to last for the end of the year. I think I'm going to make it. So, but having a great time, running those guys. Now I also run a Zone 7 series, like a zone of California for PCA, and leading that as well. So everything's been good except for here when I got the Solo Nationals and you left me, and I just started running in 13th place. But you know, it's okay. Lucky number 13, what are you going to do? We had a great time.
I guess I'll just have to go back to 8th Street.
Yeah, I need you, buddy. I need you back in 8th Street.
So I love that you're going for all these different things. I was sitting here on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, and maybe one or two adult beverages had flowed.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about challenges. And I love challenges.
Me too.
And someone said to me, Brian, you should take the podcast and you should compete in every one of SCCA's national championships in the same year.
Yes, I totally agree.
And I'm like, wow, that sounds fantastic.
Let's go.
And then after
off to Alabama for the Rallycross
after I
Nationals.
stopped with the adult beverages, I started thinking about, wow, that is a heck of a challenge. and the hardest one is the runoffs, because you have to actually qualify for that. The other ones are logistically a lot.
Time trials, Rallycross, Solo, you're in.
And road rally. So
yeah, that's true.
There's 5 of them.
That's right.
And they're all within like a 6 or 8 week period.
Yeah, it does get tight with the schedule.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe trying to do that, not next year because I have to get to the runoff, so which means I have to get my road racing license back.
Yeah, that's a big lift.
All of that process. So that's kind of like a 2-year deal.
Maybe you and I team up next year. We'll do road rally.
Okay, I
Let's
like
do
that.
it, yeah.
My kid wants to do road rally too, though.
Ooh, so maybe he'll be your navigator and I'll run with somebody else. Okay, yeah.
So,
we'll go together.
But challenges
I need you.
Absolutely. So good. So what's next for you?
Next for me is I got to get back in the RV, drive back to California as fast as I can. I'm racing at Crow's Landing with the Zone 7 Porsche Club guys for their points championship, so I need 2 more events to qualify for them. Then off to Thunder Hill for the California State Championship, and then back in the Miata for some more dirt racing up in Sacramento, a place called Prairie City, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Lots of ups and downs and elevation. So I'll be honest, I love solo racing, but the Rallycross has been a blast.
Yeah.
Even though the speed's a little lower, dynamically, it's just all coming at you so fast. You're drifting all the time. It's really, really fun. So, and I'm like you, I want a new challenge. So jumping back and forth between the Porsche and the Miata and the Honda Civic, obviously didn't go well on the Honda Civic this year, but I love the challenge for sure.
Definitely. All right, that's a wrap from the 2025 Solo Nationals here at Lincoln, Nebraska. Been a great week. We've crowned dozens of national champions, and it will be happening again next year, probably here again. And if it does, Inside the SCCA will be there. He is Rob Krider. I'm Brian Bielanski. Have yourself a great week. Stay safe, and go play with cars.